too comfortable. Take this bullshit off. Ready? Welcome.
Hi.
This is my first time doing an interview for COVID Chronicles with Cliff Mula.
Yeah.
Welcome, Miss Katie Arroyo.
Thank you.
A couple questions. Let's keep it basic. So how long have you been doing comedy?
About 4 years.
4 years, yeah. Yeah, I remember meeting you when you first started.
Yeah.
I feel like I used to try to give you advice a little something. I was one of your mentors, and then you used to listen to me. Then you stopped listening to me, and your career took off. So that was a good thing.
Yeah. I think
That's a good thing.
that was very helpful.
Oh man, but no, you just coming out the gate. I always thought you were funny.
Thank you.
I always thought you had potential. Like there's this perception that like a lot of women comics aren't funny, and they're ugly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't fit most of those stereotypes.
Yeah.
No, you're
Give
funny.
it one more year.
No, you don't fit the prototypical,
I gotta wear glasses.
perception. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you care about yourself. You take, and not to say that funny women don't take care of themselves, but a lot of times, when women are very attractive and things are just handed to them, they don't really have to work on that humorous aspect. But when you don't have the traditional beauty per se, you have to work on other things to make yourself more successful. But you, just in general, you were funny out of the gate. Just like a real cool person in general. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a great interview.
I love watching your career. You know what I'm saying? Like from the very beginning. Let me ask you, who are some of like your comedic influences?
I love Jessie Kirsten. I have loved her forever. She's a New York comic, and she just had a special produced with Bill Burr.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like so fast and snappy.
Oh, okay.
And like she's really good she's amazing at crowd work. I love Big J Ogerson. He's
Nice.
And
nice. That's a beast. He used to be Patrice O'Neal's roommate, who was one of my inspirations. So that's good company right there. Yeah.
I like people who are quick and sarcastic.
For some reason, like not comedic style, but you reminded me of Amy Schumer a little bit, just as far as your delivery. Not material, just the voice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But no, you're pretty. As far as I can see, you're pretty original. You know what I mean? Like you stand out. You have your own individuality when it comes to being on stage. What else? How close do you think you were to like? Actually, let's rewind this. Is this something that you're really trying to do with comedy? Is this something that you're seriously trying to do, or is this a hobby thing?
So now we're like almost a year into quarantine, and so before that happened, I was like, I was trying to do a show, at least one show every single night.
Yeah.
Like
nice.
6 nights a week.
Like show?
Yeah, like real show.
Show.
I was
really?
doing okay, or like trying to fill all my weekends.
Where? Like what areas? Like wherever?
Like I would try to do weekends at clubs, and that would fill like.
Which clubs were you
Comedy Connection, Comics, Laugh Boston.
And were you passed by all of those clubs?
Yeah, so they were giving me like spots. Which
Really?
was great.
Okay. Yeah, nice.
But then, and so I was just like go, try to get shows everywhere.
If you're trying to do it for real, as you should.
And then quarantine happened, and now I'm like, maybe I'll focus on podcasting. Like, I don't know.
Which is what most comics had to pivot to do because I mean,
there's just
like,
nothing.
We still want to be funny. You know what I'm saying? We still want to express ourselves, and if we can't do it in a public situation, the podcast is the natural shift. I started. What's the name of your podcast?
I started a podcast called Pinky Promise with Laura Manasowicz.
All right. Didn't you used to do one with Catherine?
Oh yeah, Catherine Geronimi, and I haven't for a little while, but we
started
okay. That one.
So you were doing like multiple different podcasts.
Yeah, so now I have 2 going.
Oh, you got 2 going?
Yeah, I did one called the Wicked Funny Podcast, which has a really good, like a good listener base, and they're really active, and they message us all the time, and that kind of stuff. And
YouTube?
No, we're not on YouTube yet.
Really?
So
is it like Spotify or is it?
Yeah, we're on Spotify, iTunes, but we just haven't
got a decent amount of like a good decent following.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
And so we started getting some sponsorships with
really?
podcast.
Oh,
yeah,
so
that's been cool.
You gotta get me on there.
But
talk to me.
We don't. I'll see.
Great interview.
We don't even usually do guests. We just like become like we're the characters. on the podcast. So
you know what? I want to watch it. I'm going to actually check it out. Like when this is over, like send me a link or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would love to check it out to see what it's about. And I'll send you mine. I do one too.
Yeah.
The light skin perspective, like shameless plug or whatever. But yeah, that's just something that we had to do. If you're a person that you're looking to make a living.
You need attention too.
Yeah, you need attention, and just as far as speaking, if you want to keep your chops up. I mean, there's like a lot of comments that say, well, I don't need a stage. I can just do my jokes in my basement by myself. But you need
It's not the same.
It's not the same, and you need the anxiety of somebody watching you. So even if you don't have it here, like sometimes I'll, if I got like a new set I want to work out, I'll go Facebook Live and I'll do it just like that.
Yeah.
Because I know there's somebody watching me.
Yeah.
So I have this anxiety that I have to do better.
Yeah.
Like if you feel like nobody's watching you, then you
care.
don't try as hard. So it's good that you're doing the podcast situation because it still keeps your chops up. It keeps you talking about like relevant topics of what's going on. It essentially gives you homework multiple times a week.
Exactly. It makes us have to make up something every week.
So when this is over, you got like right now we're on podcast number 20.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So who knows what you'll be once this is over.
Yeah.
So you'll have that much material, that many ideas that you did. So when it's time to get back out there, you'll be fine. So it's good that you're doing that.
It has been weird though. Do you notice when you're doing live shows that it's hard to write like full bits because you're only doing a show like twice a week or once a week, and so you come up with something new and then you like forget it by the next week?
Well, I see what you're saying. I have not been getting that many. I'm probably getting like one show per week, but I see how you could say that with me. I've been doing a little longer.
So you're just like going for it.
It's like I can literally come up with a bit the day of, and I'm not saying it work every time, but it has a much higher percentage than when I started.
I'll try new stuff, and then I'm like,
but sometimes you gotta
wait a whole other week to try it again.
Sometimes you gotta be pathological with it, like you know what I'm saying. Even if it's a new bit or whatever, and you got less shows, just keep doing that same bit. So what? Until it's perfection. Because a lot of people like they'll be like 3 to 5 years in comedy. I'm like, oh, I don't like doing old jokes. And it's like if you never really got out there, if your shit ain't on Comedy Central or Netflix, then all your jokes are new. Like jokes I wrote 7 years ago. It's not really an old joke because it's not really out there. You have to treat it like that. Like you may have to revisit it. Polish it up like I was doing some old material on Facebook Live. And I was like, damn, this shit wordy as shit. You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
that was good. It probably made you realize.
Right,
like,
and I was like, you know what? Okay, I gotta take this word out, So you have to revisit quote unquote older stuff and refine it, but never take it until you actually out there. Never look at any of your material as old stuff. Just you may have to tweak it like because it's too wordy or because of COVID, certain jokes. Certain references don't work. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's talking about Caitlyn Jenner no more. That's old news now. So maybe it's new Dwayne Wade's son. Zion. You know what I mean? Like so you may have to update things here and there, but I definitely hear what you're saying. So you were pushing this like you were really trying to do this like seriously like this. So you weren't like a hobbyist, and not to knock hobbyists or anything like that, but this was something that you were really trying to do.
Yeah, it's trying.
So how close do you think you were to getting to that point before COVID? Because everybody has this grandiose story like, yo, I was about to blow up. I was about to be the shit. And then COVID happened. I was done, man.
I was about to like hopefully try to start featuring at clubs.
Yeah,
and that's
realistic.
Yeah.
But it's some cats, they be like 3 years in and they all of a sudden they was about to be Muhammad Ali comedy. But it's the greatest excuse as to why you're not successful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
No, but like I have a real my friend who he just did a spot on Conan.
Oh, nice.
He did it the week before quarantine started. So like he didn't even get
so that situation.
And I was supposed to open for him,
sucks,
and
man.
literally like the week that he was supposed to headline at the Connection was when they started the lockdown, and I was like, he got fucked. Like he actually had like a real opportunity.
That's awful, man. That's awful. I'm not saying I was gonna blow up, but the traction was definitely.
I feel like
but I'm not gonna say you know what I mean. But my goal was to do it full time this year. But it's just like that was completely taken away. And but like you said, you're doing a podcast, you're doing other things. There's other things that we can do. I keep saying this, and I don't do it, but I need to start doing it. Looking to do voiceover work.
Yeah, that'd be good.
If you do different impersonations, because you were in a quarantine cartoon, right? Did Matt hit you up yet for that?
No.
Matt, not Matt Heath, but Dan Brown. Dan Brown he's animating different comics. Like, we hit him up and give him like 3 minutes of material.
Oh, cool.
He takes it and makes it. I could have sworn they fucking made a cartoon out of it. Maybe that was just another white Spanish Asian.
Yeah, probably. It was a lot. Like we get confusing.
Yeah, but this quarantine, it gives you the opportunity to branch out in different avenues because if you're trying to be successful in the comedy business, I mean, the stage is definitely important, but it's not the only aspect. And like I tell Cliff and I tell a lot of comics, comedy, like a lot of things in comedy, you don't choose, it kind of chooses you.
Yeah.
So you might find yourself always being a feature, or you might find yourself being a host,
yeah.
or you might find yourself doing interviews, or you might find yourself being a videography.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that comedy wants from you, you'll start to like lean towards doing that. So, but this just gives you the opportunity to experiment with like different things. So you got the podcast, blah blah blah. We're about to wrap. Is it 2 more minutes? Okay. So what else? So moving forward, once this clears up, if ever. Actually, better question. That's too far out. So what do you have coming up?
Coming up?
Yeah, besides tonight, the show that may not happen.
I have no other shows coming up. I'm like run the end of my show. So I was doing okay where I had like a regular schedule, sort of. And then I think now with this new, maybe things are going to get locked down again. Like shows that were scheduled or canceled.
I just saw something that just popped up on my Yahoo Mail. They just said that COVID is the leading cause of death. Per day. Oh. It surpassed heart disease. I think heart disease is like 1,600. Yeah. And cancer was like 1,400. I literally just looked this up. Like I said, I don't know how true this is. You know what I mean? But
either way.
But that's just not. That's not.
So,
that's not good news. So
So we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, hopefully Paul keeps this open, and this is the only place that's really doing shows like on this end of Connecticut. And, if talk to Paul, he'll always work something out as long as this is open. Another question: where do you see yourself in the comedy game? Maybe like 3 years from now.
I have no idea.
No idea. You haven't looked that far because
you
want to see what's going on with this. Fair enough.
We'll
Fair enough.
Best wishes.
All right. Not so much of a deep question, but what draws your inspiration? Like, what are like some of your like writing processes when you put something together?
Definitely real life. So like something quick in real life will happen that I think is funny, and I'll just write a note.
All right, so you write it. Do you like fully write it out, or do you like bullet points?
Sometimes I'll write like a whole paragraph out, and then when I'm going on stage, I just write the bullet points of it, and then see how it goes on stage.
Yeah, like I used to write them all out, but for me personally, I found that if I write it out too much,
you lose it.
It's not just that. I'm too rigid. Yeah. And it's harder for me to edit.
Me too. And then I get nervous about hitting those lines. And then I'm like, exactly. I don't fucking care about the lines.
But if you got a bullet point.
Get to the bullet point.
Right. And if it's a true story, you pretty much tell it the same way all the time. You might have to tweak a word here and there.
Yeah.
But that's good. I always try to write. I don't sit down and hey, I'm gonna write some jokes today. Comedy should be so much a part of your soul that you're thinking about funny shit all the fucking time. Yeah. So if you're always thinking about funny things all the time, you're not really writing, you're just living life. Yeah. Just like I thought of some shit when I was writing up here. It was saying something about what the hell was that? What was I saying? How New Englanders, they're always surprised like that it snows. You've been here 34 years. Oh my God, it snowed. Like, you've been
like the first
living here 30 years and you're surprised that it snowed. That's like a black person being surprised that Joe Biden's going to screw them. You know what I'm saying? When he does, because he's been screwing them for 40 fucking years. You should be used to it by now. Yeah. But the point is, you should always, not just you, I'm not pointing at you, but just in general. You know what I'm saying? Comedy should be a part of your heart that you're really trying to do this. Yeah. And you don't really have to set up I don't have to set a schedule to write. It should just. Yeah. And I write by Facebook. You know what I'm saying? I'm always just putting little bullshit out. That's just my style, but you got your own way and method to whatever. What else? Because I'm kind of making it by myself. That's why this motherfucker laughing at me.
Thanks,
you can chop all this.
I will.
Yeah.
Just chop it down to only low talking.
Can we wrap it?
Yeah, we about to wrap it up right now. Can we tell her where to find her, or does that matter?
You can find me at KDG Arroyo on Instagram and Twitter. Yep. And go look for the Pinky Promise podcast and the Wicked Funny podcast.
So Pinky Promise the Pinky Promise podcast and the Wicked Funny podcast. Yes. This is fun interviewing Katie. For the most part.
We love learning about you.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Next time I interview Katie, I'm sorry.
I I feel like it was alright though. You know what I'm saying? Until towards the end, I started getting like philosophical.
You needed it. It was good.
Yeah. You gotta get it out, baby.
Yeah. But that's it. Thanks, you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now I got the COVID.
I know. It's like, don't.
Have a good one, man. COVID Chronicles. That was dope. That was dope.
All right.